what is the one project that you would like to do in this moment right now?
Consider myself very lucky for not being an army painter, because that way I free myself of the constraints of, right, what am I painting next? I've got to paint something for my army.
I had 3 Dante models sealed in a drawer.
That's a problem.
What helps me to decide that the next project is like how emotionally invested I am into the miniature.
Well, if you've got so much stuff that it's stressing you out, I think you definitely don't have a painting problem. You have a buying models problem.
Why does there need to be an end goal? Just paint for painting's sake.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Paint Perspective, episode 119. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how you can plan your next miniature painting project. We'll also be doing our regular segments like hobby hacks. But first, good morning, chaps.
Good morning.
Good morning. Paul and myself decided to have a little conflab before coming in, dressed the same apparently. So yeah.
Look at that. Look.
Yeah.
I actually had the same hoodie on, but I took it off before we started because I thought 3 was a bit much.
It's
Yeah,
too
a
hot
little
in
bit
here as
intense.
well. It's
Ultimate
very hot.
subtle plug, all wearing the same clothing. But
And, you know, I like to say I've got one.
yeah.
You know.
Well, you can't really plug it because I can't buy it anymore. That was limited.
No, but
Unplug it.
unplug it.
Unplug, an official unplugging.
Plugging it. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah. You could say that hoodie, Paul, is the GOAT.
That's right.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Greatest of all time.
Yeah. Oh, before
what that
recording,
means.
you were going on about that quite a lot.
I'm teaching
I've
Paul Gen Z slang.
I've never heard that word so much in like the space of 2 minutes in all my life.
It's everywhere. You've got to be with the kids, haven't you? Like when you want to hang around the spa shops and stuff. That's
No,
what
I'm
you got
good.
to say.
What do you mean, the spa shop?
The spa shop. Is that where you pick up the lingo? Anyway.
Paul's just got more street cred than you, James.
I know. Right?
Well, yeah. Well,
That's
I've got the
obviously.
limited edition Paint Perspective video. I've got plenty of
so
street
has he.
cred. I've
Yep.
got loads
So,
of
yeah.
street cred. Yeah.
Let's
All
move
got
on.
street creds. Yeah.
Not get hung
Yeah.
up on street cred.
But if you do want to improve your cred, you can get some merch off our store because we've got loads of other ones on there.
True.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Nice. What's been going on over the weekend? Much hobbying?
Well, I learned goated or goat. But other than that, yes, I've been continuing my Gazgal
Adventure.
Yes, adventure. He is an adventure. Every time I look at that sprue, I think, oh my goodness, there's still a lot
There's
to
more
paint.
parts. It's a lot
Yeah.
of model actually on that one. So yeah.
But yeah, no, it's quite nice. It's very therapeutic just sitting there painting away. But yeah, do a little bit at a time. Just one little triumph as I go along.
Good. That's what you want.
Good. It's getting there. I'm getting there.
Yeah. Didn't do much. Literally put some shelves up. That was my hobby for the weekend.
Getting
Putting up
the hobby
some
room ready.
Just putting those up. Doing a lot of conversion work on the walls and stuff. Just getting them all sorted. So that's literally all.
Conversion work on the walls.
You mean DIY?
Well, yeah. Let's put.
I'm confused. Are these real walls?
They
Are these
are. They
miniature?
are real walls, but either the nail varnish rack is bent or my walls are not straight. It's one or the other. So
Or both.
Or both. Yeah.
Oh
I mean,
my
it could
goodness,
be that.
can you imagine that?
So yeah. But no, I've conquered it. Yeah. Nothing that a good DeWalt
Makes me wonder
drill
what
can't
you'd
fix.
convert your wall into.
Yeah. No,
A
just
window, a door.
yeah. Converting them to be flat would be
Kitchen.
great. Yeah. Yeah. Flat would be great. So yeah.
Nice. I didn't do much hobbying over the weekend. I did see on socials though the siege count was going a bit nutty.
It's got a bit nuts, yeah. We've had quite a few very special things that have come in and we've done and like that we've been working on. And one of them is the Morning Vow, which is, if you don't know, an amazing set of characters from the Horus Heresy. It's essentially an all lads club within the Lunar Wolves. Let's put it that way.
Boy band.
Basically, yeah, boy band. Yeah, basically, yeah.
I was so excited to see this.
I know you're a big fan of Loken, George.
love Loken.
Yeah, great character.
Loken's my guy.
They went insanely crazy on socials, and ultimately, I think it's really nice to actually chat about what we do a little bit more and actually show some of the stuff we're very privileged here to see so many amazing miniatures on a daily, weekly basis that obviously the team and the company create. And so who wants to dive in first? We've got them here. So
Oh, you got them there, have you?
Yeah.
Go on, pass them over.
Got 'em here.
Great.
I'll pass you Loken because I know you love him so much.
Loken is, I don't know why he's not loved more. And he's loved a lot.
He's loved a lot. What are you on about?
But he's like, it's clearly the best.
I don't know. See,
Why? I mean, I don't know these characters. I've never read any of the Horus Heresy. Or I've got a big list.
I mean,
of
that's a
books to
spoiler
read.
for a start. I mean,
there's going to be big spoilers.
So basically, what needs to happen right now is
Yeah.
George and me need to sell you the characters, and then you need to pick one.
Well, I'll
That's
sell him
the-
Loken. I don't know about
do we need to cut for about 3 weeks or so while I read the books and then?
No, you'll be
if
great.
you can read him in 3 weeks, I'll be
Yeah,
impressed.
if you do 3
Audible.
weeks, yeah. Who are you? Data from Star Trek, like reading pages. Like
I would say though, like
Yeah.
the Horus Heresy is a big mountain to climb, but those first 3 books are like a nice little trilogy
Yeah.
that kind of show the kicking off of all of it. It's so like seamless. I think you could literally just read those 3 books.
I would just tack on that you got to read Eisenstein #4. You've got to read.
Yeah, you could
It's
also read
such a
Fulgrim
good
after,
book,
but-
right? And Garrow is anyway, we're segueing away from the main
about
stars
books
there,
now.
which
The first three are very much like a trilogy.
Yeah.
And then 4 and 5 are sequentially in order after those three.
Okay. So that's my list for.
do it. You got to do
first
it.
They
five.
are
Okay.
realistic.
So I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Let's save Logan for a little bit. Let's talk about one that you will know.
Okay.
So the big bad man before he went big and bad, Ezekiel Abaddon.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, we all know him, don't we? We all know and love him, don't we? What a guy.
So first and foremost, amazing character.
Yes.
I think in the opening part of the first book, you're introduced to Abaddon, where he's obviously attacking or he's leading some Terminators, and we've got some Justaerin as well that were part of this project and this commission. So, but yeah, Abaddon is amazing character, and our client wanted like something a little bit different. It was like he looks like he's advancing, still looks very aggressive, which I think he does.
Because him and Loken have official Forge World models.
Correct,
And it's like a little dual diorama thing.
Correct,
But
yes.
they're both Forge World and old.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I'll let you connect the dots.
Yeah.
A little bit dated looking.
Yeah, I tell you what, I do really like that he's got the Lunar Wolf symbol on the cape as well. I thought that's a really nice touch.
What is that converted from? Is that the Praetor?
I think so. Yeah, I think it
must
is.
be.
I think it is. Yeah. But again, I think it's the Sons of Horus Praetor that's been converted into it. But
I think the Heresy armor is really, like all the Heresy kits are cool because you can kind of convert any character out of any of them in a way.
Yeah.
They're a bit more, I don't want to say
Almost,
generic.
I was going to say
but
almost generic.
yeah,
they're certainly more uniform than 40k stuff tends to be. I think
Yeah.
even in terms of like specific chapters, especially.
Well, see, the thing is, you mentioned Forge World, and for any of you that don't know what Forge World is, because I realise they've changed it now to like expert resin. It's kind of like
Oh yeah, we've got a lot of people getting back into the hobby.
got a
that
lot of
find
people. So
this,
Forge World is now it's still around, but it's not called Forge World. It's called expert resin. But
it's basically GW's like hobby within a hobby sub brand that make little resin, smaller scope kits.
the quality of it is. I mean, I know you were saying obviously the older stuff, and you're quite right. The older stuff, some of it was a bit here or there, but the newer resin stuff is fantastic, and yeah, like just the stature that he's got, even compared to like some of the other characters that are in this Morning Veil commission that we've done, is really great. So yeah, Abaddon's awesome, absolutely, and clad in black armor as well, which I think is really cool. It kind of shows his kind of like.
Well, that's the Lunar Wolf thing. All the Justaerin are black.
Yeah,
but their armor is white.
Yeah, it's kind of
little
cool.
yin and yang.
Well, it's kind of like foretelling the
right?
future. Do you know what I mean? So
and even though when this came in, I didn't know the other characters.
you knew it was
you can
Abaddon.
tell who he is
Abaddon. Yeah.
straight away. Yeah.
Should we maybe say as well, spoilers for the Horus Heresy,
I'm going to plug my ears.
the Lunar Wolves become Sons of Horus, which is the teal armor that is current like box art style, and then they become Black Legion post Horus Heresy. So you kind of got like 3 legions for
So
the
now I
price of
don't
one.
need to read the books.
Yes, you
Is
do.
that what
Yeah,
you're
you do.
Just in case anyone isn't, up to date with all the lore stuff.
let's next look. We're going to say, I know you love Loken, and I'm going to dangle a carrot now. We're going to leave him a bit, but
Gonna leave it.
we'll go next with another member, which is Little Horus, which is Horus Aximand, who is apparently, for all intents and purposes, a mini version of Horus. So he looks.
He's like mini-me.
He's a dead ringer, but about 8 feet shorter. Do you know what I mean? So
The Vern Troyer of 30k.
yeah, no, he's awesome.
Bless him.
Again, really, Ben, who's done this project, has done an amazing job on it. Like, really, really great job. Like, I love the white armor. Like how kind of like it's white, but it's
It's not overpoweringly
no,
white.
it's not.
It's not
And
apothecary white, is it?
you can still see like any highlighting that's done as well. So like again, I don't
really
want to be
cool.
the only person holding
And
it.
they
You can-
look suitably bit grimdark.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
a
bit
little bit.
grimy and a little bit.
Can I say as well, the head choice of this is genius because Horus has a 30k model, but he's a Primarch, so he's enormous. So his head is therefore larger. And the whole thing with Horus Aximand is people say that he was like the spitting image of Horus.
Yeah.
So I don't know what head this is from, but it's perfect, isn't it?
It looks
It's like,
great.
it's
Really, really
perfect.
great.
He looks like, One Punch Man.
Yeah, no, it's really cool.
He looks great.
We can't. I mean, I know this character is a fond favourite, and we're building it up. So we've done the 2. Sorry to spoil it for anyone. We've done the 2 which, let's just say, fall on the wrong side of the train tracks. Let's put it that way. We'll move on to Tarek Torgadon, who is a huge fan favourite. I'd say
I've heard he's the funniest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Is that
he's
true?
He's pretty.
I mean,
he's got some
that's
comical
just
lines.
what I heard on the web.
Yeah, he's got some comical lines. Yeah,
What is it? The Void? The Void? I heard that on the Void.
on the void.
I'll go
Is that
with
another
I don't
saying
know.
from the kids? Okay.
No.
Anyway,
He's kind of like Loken's right hand.
He's
bud.
Bezzy Mates. Really, really cool character that I think a lot of people really, really like synergize with in the sense of like his like some of the things he does and some of the things he says, and like a really cool character. I love the fact that I can't went for like a armed with an axe. I think the axe is really, really cool. I don't know if you use one or not, but I just think that choice of it looks amazing, and I really like what Ben's done on the metallics, whereby they're true metallics, but they've got like glazing done on them, so they look like they've got like a bit of a different tonal variance on them, which I think is cool.
There's loads of the white's done really nicely because white is a bit hit or miss, isn't it? Because if you
notorious, I think.
if you do too much contrast with white, it looks dirty and grey.
Yeah.
And if you don't do enough, it looks unbelievably dull and boring.
Yeah.
But this is a really nice, like, I've always said as well, I like weathering and like tasteful chipping, like
agreed.
painted, like fine scale appropriate detail. But I really like the Horus Heresy has this, I think because people love the grimdark style.
Yeah.
It's big army painting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fair play. No shade being thrown here at all. But personally, I'm not keen on the like,
giving it a big wash.
Giving it all of the streaking grime and all that stuff.
I think this is perfect. I think it's bright enough to resemble and like sell that it's white, but it's also weathered enough to show that they've actually been doing some stuff, which I think is really cool.
And you've got like volumetric shading and stuff.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. I've got to say, like Ben's done a phenomenal job on all the faces on this. Like the project, the faces look fantastic. Like,
They're
really,
a big
really,
focal point, aren't they?
We always say it. Most important detail on a miniature.
Yeah.
really, really well done.
They've got helmets with them though.
They have got helmets. Yeah, a client wanted them to have. I don't know what the correct terminology is, but the
Like
weird,
the little, like the Roman
thing on the top. Yeah, I know we had a couple of people say why they use Mark 7s. I think it's because it was any way to get those head things on and mix them correct, which I think is really good. But even though Horus Aximon's helmet's really cool as well, it's a Sons of Horus head that's half black, half white. It looks fantastic.
I never know. I've magnetized a couple of heads in my time, and I never know which one to display them with.
Yeah.
I guess the idea is you can change
choice.
it.
You can have a different head for every day of the week if you want. You know, you can.
But they're both cool. I want them both out. Because then what do you do with the other one that's not on display? So it's just sat in a little bag in a drawer.
You can't-
He's got taking it in his carrier bag.
It's waiting for his time to shine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I wish there was more holding helmet poses generally in Warhammer.
That would be quite
Because that's
cool,
best of
actually.
both worlds.
yeah, it is
But I
actually.
suppose with these dynamic poses where they're depicted on the battlefield, it's it's a bit different. Or that, if there was more helmets that you could put on the belt.
Yeah.
What was
true.
that one
maybe.
they done a limited Primaris model? Is it a lieutenant or something? He was holding a helmet.
Yeah. I know the one you mean. I
Yeah.
can't remember his name, but
And
yeah,
like Lazarus is holding his helmet, I suppose.
Yeah.
There's a
few.
couple.
there's a
but
couple. Yeah.
I wish that was a more
Common thing.
like on the sprue. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just like a hand, just sort of doing that.
That's an option.
Then you
That'd
could
be quite
maybe if it was just a hand, you could then like glue the helmet you wanted in the slot. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's just like a sort of generic
Or you could put the
pose.
helmet on, and if he's posed like this, you could just put his head in there.
Yeah.
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 Definitely.
classic
And then you could
Ghosts.
have no head on the model, and it looked like something from Sleepy Hollow.
I like that.
Just got his
yeah.
helmet as a.
These are all great ideas.
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
You can have GW if you're listening. You
Listeners
can
and
have
viewers,
these.
please don't take this into consideration.
Someone will do it. Do it.
I'm going to bring this back to some sense and talk about probably what is the heartthrob of the heresy.
My boy.
Loken. What an amazing character. As you quite rightly said, obviously had an original model,
Which is pants.
which is opinionated. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I'll be more political about it. But yeah, it was really nice to get the opportunity to bring him to life. And a lot of people that were commenting on the Instagram account were saying he looked like a mishmash or potentially two different people. You got Cody Rhodes from WWE, which I thought was hilarious, and you had Dolph Lundgren as well. So choose your protagonist.
Cody Rhodes, I could see actually. Yeah, he's got the slick back hair.
He has got the swept back hair on the
There's
model.
no
which I think
there's
is-
not
it's
a lot of great artwork reference for Loken. It's quite varied. I don't think there's any official
There's a
stuff.
little bit of black and white artwork. There's a couple of bits, but nothing too
He
crazy.
also, as a weird reference, he looks a little bit like Duke Nukem.
Yes.
That's what I got from it.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll take that.
But,
Again, you've got
video
three
game fame.
potential protagonists.
Yeah.
But I really like the kind of semi-open pose that he's got, where he's like advancing as if he's charging someone down, and the billowing cape is like awesome as well. Like really, really cool. I've got to say this: the chainsword is massive. I didn't realize how it was
They
only
are
until I
big boys,
saw
yeah.
it. I saw obviously the photos. It's only until I saw it in hand I realized how massive the chainsword is. It's ridiculous. Like, look at the
Is
size
that
of it.
Primaris
Is that-
scale?
yeah.
Why
I
is it
don't
so
know.
big?
I don't know. It's like a cleave. I mean, it's amazing. I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, it's
But,
as
like,
tall as him.
It's incredible. Like, absolutely amazing.
I'm here for it.
yeah.
I've always said that like Loken's probably the only like lore character that I'm connected to in any sort of sense. And I've always wanted to do one. I always said that if I was ever going to get a Siege custom service model, it would be him. Yeah. But now I've seen a very tasteful conversion, and I'm like, maybe I can convert one.
So obviously, some of these characters have already been created by GW.
Yeah.
So like sometimes you think you have, when you read the books, you have your own mental image of what that character could look like.
That's exactly what was happened here. Like we basically, a client wanted something that's very unique for themselves, and the way that's the beautiful thing of it. They've extrapolated what they saw of the characters, and obviously have asked us to do this, which I think is really cool. But yeah, in summary, like an amazing project. I'm glad so many people enjoyed it as well. Like it's really nice to be able to share that. And yeah, we did also do some Just Staring to go with them as well. Couldn't do Abaddon. I keep saying that name wrong. It's Abaddon. I got looting in my ear going, say it right. I
always thought of it as like a bit of slang, like, he's a bad un.
He's a bad un, isn't he?
Yeah.
His mum saying that. He's a bad un, that one.
We did do some Just Staring to go with them as well, because we couldn't do Abaddon without doing some of those. But yeah, like really glad to see the reaction that they had. It's always nice to see that the hard work that goes into what we do has such a good reaction.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you want something similar, get in touch.
Yeah.
So.
Equally, if you want to hear us talk about like commission projects more, then let us know in the comments. You can't see on screen, but there's racks and racks of shelves of projects that we're working on. So.
Yeah, we get all these amazing things obviously in hand, and it's just like it's an opportunity to share them with you guys and talk to them a bit more. So
And actually, as I'm now a bit more involved in sort of photography side of the business, when I'm taking the pictures of stuff, I sort of think people are going to love these, or I get a feeling of what people are going to like. And
look, you're the siege. You're not. I mean, I know Adam has conveniently called you the siege dreadnought in the studio dreadnought.
Some days
but you're like the barometer, aren't you as well? Like you
possibly, yeah. Only, very
I don't think that makes him sound any younger.
No, that's even an older reference. People don't even know what that is.
Fair, maybe.
It's like a thermometer you used to have on your wall that told you what the weather was going to be, wasn't it?
Yes.
It was done by air pressure rather than temperature. Yeah.
Are they a load of rubbish? I don't know.
No, they work.
No, they
work.
In the older,
it moves.
Yeah, it went up and down. But I
Yeah.
always remember my grandparents having one, and it was never accurate. You looked at that rain outside, 20 degrees.
Yeah.
So it wasn't always the best. But yeah. That's barometer.
Probably upside down on the wall.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There you go.
If you're listening to this podcast, then there's no doubt that you're looking to improve your miniature painting skills. And what better place to start than to learn techniques directly from industry professionals with the Siege Studios Patreon. As a member, you'll gain access to our entire catalogue of masterclass video tutorials with exclusive content going far more in depth into painting techniques than you'll find on YouTube, hundreds of easy to follow step-by-step PDF tutorials, and the ability to get dedicated video feedback on your miniatures so you'll always know what skills you need to improve next. Plus, tons of other additional benefits, all bundled for the same cost as just a few pots of paint. So what are you waiting for? Take the next step in miniature painting and improve your skills by heading to patreon.com/Siege Studios. So our topic this week is how to plan your next Warhammer painting project. Idea behind this? I don't know, but, well, I know a little bit. James and myself steering a little bit off of the path, and I feel like we need a bit of a course correction.
Yeah.
And who better to lean on, Paul, than probably the most motivated, high-energy hobby fanatic that I know of personally.
Paul.
I sound like a goblin, you know, those fanatic goblins on the squig hopping around.
See, I see you more as like, I don't know, like a painting Mr. Motivator, if you remember it.
Wow.
Like, yeah. That's
I do sometimes wear multicoloured spandex when I'm painting.
I thought, is that your attire for painting miniatures?
Gets me pumped.
Yeah.
What is Mr. Motivator?
He used to be.
You've never heard of Mr. Motivator?
No. Let him Google search it and find out. That'll be. While George is having a scan.
I can't believe you don't know who Mr. Motivator is.
Yeah, while George is having a bit of a scan.
This is not what I was expecting.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say that I really needed this episode, and I needed this like chat because like
George is gone.
I know he's gone. He's gone. I'll carry the show. I'll carry the show.
While
it's fine.
he picks himself up off the floor.
I was not ready for that.
So like I've been this year. I've got to say this. I think this year is like the least that I've painted, just because of like various things going on. Like obviously Siege has been very busy. Like Scenics has been really busy. Stuff with the dogs has been really busy, and like I'm not trying to make excuses, but I really feel like I've kind of like not practiced as much as what I preach of recent, just because I haven't had as much time to paint and do stuff, which is really frustrating for me because it's like one of my favourite things.
Life does happen.
No, totally
life
get that.
Gets in the way
I
sometimes.
get that, but I really synergize with some of the things that we've said on this episode before, whereby like you we obviously have these really in-depth conversations in all different aspects of miniature painting, hobby, and all this kind of stuff. And obviously, look, all cards, there's a lot of people that watch these episodes and do get a lot of value from them, hopefully. And I feel like I feel a bit hypocritical saying all this stuff and then not getting the opportunity to do it. And that's through obviously all these other things that I've obviously got ongoing. And at the moment, there's other stuff obviously other stuff ongoing as well.
Life happens, as Paul said.
Yeah. So I felt that this was really an opportune moment to kind of like talk about this and like just, you know, for anyone that's maybe going through the same thing, have a bit of a conversation about it and just, you know, to use that Mr. Motivator analogy, get some fuel in the engine. Do you know what I mean?
Just to share with myself a little bit, I'm in a similar spot where it's a bit awkward for me, and I struggle to bring it up or relate it because it's like I am doing a lot of this stuff, probably more so than a lot of you guys, but it's like through work, and it's this weird like twist on things. So I'm obviously working hard doing the podcast, all of our Patreon video tutorials, which I not only have to film, but I also have to paint as well, and painting on camera. And then I do commissions outside of work as well. I say outside of work, outside of my day-to-day.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of like Warhammer stuff, preaching a lot on here, and then I get almost no time to actually
do it yourself,
put it into action
for your own
for
thing.
me.
Do you know, this is why like things like the blog that I'm doing about the squad, things like our hobby hangouts, all that kind of stuff is like actually really helpful for me at the minute because it puts me in a scenario where I'm like, I have to do this. And it's not for a lack of not wanting to do it. It's just a case of like, there's been lots obviously ongoing. So that's why I thought it'd be a good topic to talk about. As you brought it up and said about it. I was like, yeah, perfect. Because I need this. You know, I need some paint perspective, like steering on course. Let's put it that way.
I think that's my general rule as well. Is like, if you kind of catch these things early enough, sort of course correct, maybe nip it in the bud a little bit before it becomes a catastrophe, you know?
Steer away from the iceberg.
Yeah. I don't know, you are allowed to not do the hobby for a little bit.
Of course you are.
That's just as important as doing it.
I think you do need like those breaks to then think about what it is you're trying to do. Like I think you get I've had some of the best, like the fresh eye break, I've had some of my best discoveries or improvements or attempts at stuff when I've had like time to think about what it is that I'm doing.
Yeah, but I think some of it is like analysis paralysis as well. Is like, especially if you're, you're chatting about Warhammer with your friends, or you're in the Discord groups and whatever, and like you're getting the emails from GW and you're seeing the new releases, and you're kind of keeping up with it, but you're not really actively doing it. Yeah. And then you sit at your desk and you're like, I don't know what to do. It's like, do I buy this new model to try and band-aid this problem that I have, or do I pick up this project that I abandoned 6 months ago, or do I carry on with my army?
Yeah. Well, part of what I'm going through at the moment is actually helping with that, because I'm proud to say that I'm having a cull. I'm getting rid of loads of stuff that's just in my pile of shame. Like,
you actually?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I'm having a big exodus of plastic.
You actually?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
That's shocking.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You're Mr. Advocate for, the pile of potential. It means you've got all these options.
Mr. 30 tanks.
I had 3 Dante models sealed in a drawer.
That's a problem.
I love Dante in this box, but I also love Dante in this box.
If only someone had told you 500 or 600 times over the last 2 years.
I don't know why I had 3. So I was like, I don't need that. So I just literally, so I'm getting rid of like loads of bits that are like, ultimately, the question I'm asking myself is, am I going to paint it ever? If the answer is no.
Ever?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yeah, well, I don't know how long I've got left. Sorry to be morbid. But like, but the thing is like, I was like, am I ever going to get around to this? The answer is no. No, then it goes. Goes. And I think that's the thing, like.
Most of the time, you can reacquire.
Oh, by the way, like none of my rare paint and none of my sealed stuff has been touched. I'm literally like, that is like.
Obviously.
That's like, that's like, that's like, but all the stuff that's general, this would be a great entry in the future, or I'd love to do this model, I'd love to paint this model, like it, like I had like one of those Inquisitor models with a sword going in the rock with the I was like, the model's cool, does it tickle my fancy that much that I'm going to paint it? No. It goes. I literally, and that's been really helpful.
On the flip side of that, my rule is, so I don't, nobody's perfect. I try to not let myself buy something when I'm like the most excited about it. And I do the if I still want this in a week rule.
Yeah.
Right.
And I do that with a lot of things.
Yeah.
Especially, and it can be very easy to impulse buy Warhammer stuff in particular, especially for like a character when it's like 20, 30 quid. So, shit. And you don't realize it's like how much money that racks up over a year. Especially.
Oh, mate, honestly, like I'm just I said that's why I just done it, because I was like, oh, cool. And I think what it is that paralysis. It's having all this stuff and going, cool. Well, like if it's a model I'm never going to be able to get again, that's different, I think, because it's
but even then, like, I feel like oftentimes, like, if you sleep on it and you wait a couple of days, your excitement fizzles out, and then you kind of have this sobering moment where you're like, no, I've got this other 4 armies new in the box. I don't need another one. I'm never going to paint it.
Do you know what? Like, sorry to just tuck this in as a segue. It's like back in the day when there was only like a couple of releases a month. Yeah, like when you picked up White Dwarf.
Yeah.
Staying on top of stuff was fairly manageable. Like now, it's like the release schedule is like intense.
And there'll be something new next week that you'll want as well.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Like I understand, like that, having like loads of variety and loads of new stuff coming out is awesome. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm spoiled for choice. I'm literally like, oh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, and it distracts you from ultimately what is the goal of your hobby.
If you've got so much stuff that it's stressing you out, I think you definitely don't have a painting problem. You have a buying models problem.
Yeah, I mean, I'll quite happily admit that. Like, yeah, like I'm guilty of that, and like, it's nice to actually like. It was. Do you know what? It was actually nice to basically have a drawer that's not got loads of stuff in it. That sounds really odd, but like,
it must actually be quite nice to see that physical pile of.
Oh, it's like, it feels like a weight off my shoulders. It's just like and like the other thing is like the way you got to think of it is this way: is there's probably someone out there that Inquisitor stabbing the sword into the rock with smoke. Someone really wants that, or wants to paint that model. Do you know what I mean?
And you're hoarding it in your drawer.
If their desire is like to paint that model is much greater than mine, then they should have that model. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel that way with a lot of stuff actually. Like just collecting generally. It's different if you're like. I'm not necessarily against like keeping stuff sealed in the box or whatever. If you're like enjoying it in some way.
Yeah.
When people just like buy stuff just to like literally put it in storage or put it in their loft. And I'm like, someone that wanted that and could have used that could have had that.
Yeah. I mean, all my old second-hand stuff. I
wasn't trying to single you out, by the way. That's not what I meant. But
no, but I get it. Totally.
For example, I'll kick in one of my other hobbies. Like Lego is something that I'm kind of into. Yeah. And there'll be like a new release. And then there are like Lego investors. And they literally, they go to the shop at 8 a.m. in the morning. They want to be the first in line. They're going to buy it. And they're going to go and stick it in their loft. And they're never going to touch it for 15 years. And then they're going to try and sell it again and flip it. Yeah. And I'm like, so someone...
should be built.
Someone could have bought that and actually like had a nice time.
My sealed stuff is purely just like my childhood. It's nostalgia. That's what it is. Like,
yeah, but you're enjoying that. That's here's why I think that's slightly different. If you're trying to like, I had this when I was a kid, I'll buy it on eBay because someone else like found one or something, and like I'm going to put it on display in my room and collect it. I think that's a little bit different. I'm talking about when you're like almost actively depriving someone else of an experience.
No, I get that totally.
And it's a hard line to tread. I do recognise that there's a bit of a grey area in the middle there. But as miniature painters, we all know how important it is to have good quality tools, brushes, and paints. But if you want to improve your miniatures, none of those items matter if you can't properly see what it is you're painting in the first place. That's why one of the most important upgrades I've ever made to my miniature painting setup was my Onyx painting lamp from Native Lighting. Its incredibly bright 2200 lumen, dimmable LEDs cast soft and diffuse light on my workspace. Plus, its highly adjustable articulating arm allows me to finally sit in the perfect painting position for hours on end without any aches or strain. And its daylight colour balance temperature of 6500K gives you the confidence that the colours you're painting on your miniatures are true to life and your miniatures will pop on the tabletop. To upgrade your setup to the professional grade equipment that we rely on here at the studio, head to siegestudios.co.uk/shop or check the link in this episode's description.
I think like steering it onto the topic as well, it's just like, as I said, like what helps me to decide that the next project is like, how emotionally invested I am into the miniature. I think that's the thing. I think it has to be like the ultimate anchor that pulls you to a model is ultimately how much you like that model. And I suppose it's a balance of two things. It's a balance of how much you like the model and also what you've got to do on it, or your thoughts of how you're going to paint it. So again, as I said, like if there's a model that I see and I'm like, do you know what, I have to like. I'm going to say one now, and you can put the counter up. Lycus,
that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Obi-Wan. But I saw that model and I was like, holy cow, that model is amazing. I have to paint it, and I had that instant like gravity towards it.
Yeah.
But I've done a very similar thing to what you said a minute ago. Like, you know, Aethon Shah, that new Raven Guard chap. I saw him and I was like, oh my god, it's like Batman in 40K, like the way he's on the thing. I was like, it's amazing. Like that model's incredible. And I was blown away by it. I still think it's a fantastic model, but it was the first time, especially as I've been going through this like purge and cull of stuff in my hobby room. That was like, give it some time, let it brew, and see if you still feel the same. And I felt like I needed to do that because otherwise that would be another model in the drawer. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
and
also
then,
with stuff like that, you kind of know it's going to be around for a while.
Oh yeah. It's a new model.
There's plenty of Primaris Space Marines that I want, but they're currently in production and they're on the shelf in GW. So I'm not too stressed about having it in my house taking up my space instead.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the thing. And so we're like choosing a project now, like trying to get out this kind of like not self-enforced lull in my own personal painting hobby, but like trying to get out of it. It's like you need like the biggest spark to rekindle the fire. And I think that what you need to do is to have something that ultimately it forces you to go, I've got to paint. And I think that's the thing for me. That's just me personally. It might be different for everyone watching and listening to this, but like, I think you need that emotive connection or that draw painting wise. Like, oh God, I've always wanted to paint that kind of thing before. You know, I think you need kind of that to get out of it, out of the lull, which I've got. You know, hopefully in the squad thing that I'm doing.
How do you feel about another way of breaking out of that being like? A bit of a mix up in terms of maybe not painting something Warhammer or like painting like a 75mm character or something like, you know, a bit of a rule of cool. I'm literally just gonna
other things out there, isn't there? It's like I got a bust.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a thing where I thought, oh, that looks really cool. I'll paint that. I think it's the it's from Lord of the Rings. It's the king, the Ghost King, the
Witch King.
Yeah. No, he's all the ghosts.
Oh, that fella. Don't know his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. But he just looks really cool.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I know there's going to be a point where I'm just going to be like, I don't want to paint, and that is going to bring me back into it a little bit.
That's yeah.
Just because it's just like it's like anything else. Just you might just be bored of the project you're doing, and you can't face sitting there. I need to do that, but I just don't want to do it. So it's like having something on the side there. Just say, oh, I fancy dry brushing that. Just do that.
Yeah, there's two sides
really
to
helps.
it. I mean, I've tried this year. I think I've been using this year as much as possible to try and like get out of bad habits. One of them being obviously just like getting the new shiny syndrome and just literally just like, oh cool, I'll buy that. And then like at the same time as well, it's like we're having a much clearer desk for working as well, like because exactly what you're saying. What happens is I like lots of things spinning at once, like, and that's how I've always been. But like I've been finding that like having that other thing on the desk has been distracting me.
Yeah,
you know, and I can focus and concentrate on one thing and get it all the way through to fruition. But I've been finding increasingly with my desk being that way, I've been unknowingly pulled off of course a few times.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I'm trying to, again, get rid of things that are like visual distractions, or I'll open a drawer to find something or a part or something. I go, oh, I've got that model. Like getting rid of all of that, and then like, or as much of that as possible.
I can't have projects on my desk that I'm not working on. There's such a pull.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and this is what I've been finding. So like, I've got one of those, and my hobby don't, not sponsored, obviously we don't, I just want to say that, like, on my setup that I've got a little glass box with a little lid thing you can put display stuff. I had loads of stuff in there that was like WIP or work in progress or whatever, and like I just got all of that and put it in a box and put it in the drawer, and I was like,
out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, I was like, don't need that visually in front of me now. Like just this one thing that I'm working on, like, and that's it. And like that's really helpful as well. And it's actually motivated me more because it's like I've not got all these other things like distract me.
Yeah, you can even do that with sub-assemblies. If you've got like if you're doing one project and you've got 3 or 4 sub-assemblies, just get rid of the other sub-assemblies that you're not working on that day. That also helps just to keep everything out of your eye line.
Well, I've got a little bit of a mid-episode or early first quarter hack. So this is something that I learned from actually being at Warhammer World and sitting in Bugman's, and like, so for those of you that have been there, you may see and you may see staff walking through there with like Tupperwares, or not Tupperwares, but like storage boxes that are like non-transparent. That's them transporting projects that they don't want people to see, obviously. Okay, that's what those boxes are. I went out this weekend and bought myself a couple of non-transparent storage boxes, and I've put all the stuff that's a visual distraction in those in those boxes, and then they're like just put away.
Schrodinger's whip box.
Yeah. So
is it finished?
So,
Who knows?
Exactly. So literally, even if I've got the box out, I can't see the thing that's in it.
Yeah.
Which I think is really helpful because it is a visual distraction. Obviously, painting and being creative is a very visual thing.
Yeah.
Like
I have the top drawer of my desk is I don't keep anything in it other than minis.
Yeah.
And that is a mixture of abandoned projects, which we don't talk about, but also like if I'm actively working on stuff, kind of like what you said.
Yeah.
Like I've got some sub-assemblies or some bits. Just I need it out of eye shot because it takes up mental real estate that I don't have.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that drawer is the wasteland.
The wasteland, yeah. And the best thing about putting stuff away in the drawer, like Schrodinger's cat, it exists in both an unfinished and a finished state. So you can just say, "Oh, that's that project finished."
At the minute, I've got a character that I'm working on, and he's in like 8 different sub-assemblies. So when you just paint one of them and you've got 7 other on the desk unfinished, you don't feel like you've made a big impact. But if I take all of those and put them in the drawer, and I just work on this one thing tonight, and I finish it, I feel like I've accomplished something. Rather than feeling like I've accomplished 1/8 of the task, I feel like I've accomplished one whole component of
it's a
the
good way to
task.
do it.
It's ultimately, I know I've got to use the D word here, but it's ultimately the dopamine hit. It's like, have I achieved something? And
it's a little victory. Isn't it?
It's little wins make, or little battles make a big win is the way for me to explain it. And I think the other thing is with like choosing a project, which is obviously the thing that we're talking about here, is like, I think if you're in that situation, in a scenario where you've got lots of choice, the opportunity of choice, I think, is a thing. And that's what going back to what I was saying, trying to eradicate the opportunity of choice as much as possible. So I'm not like drowning in different things to potentially choose. I think things like just reading any of the books, or like, again, there are now quite a few on like Warhammer Plus. There's a few like non-official ones on YouTube. That watching something that's a bit more like about a faction or a lore video, like looting. Like there's loads of different avenues for you to
old episodes of Paint Perspective.
I mean, there's that as well. Yeah, I didn't want to self-plug, but like we can self-plug.
Do you know what's actually, to be fair, I'm going to say that a good one for that is the John Keyes one that we done earlier this year.
Yeah, fantastic.
And he said something really cool in there about well, for one, he spoke about a lot of non-Warhammer miniatures. So there's some cool inspo there if you want to just like break the norm a little bit and do something with a bit different flavour. And he actually, that's actually reminded me that he convinced me to pick up one of those 75mm characters, and I never painted it. So maybe I should. Mental reminder. But he spoke about picking a colour that you really fancy painting and then just like pick a model around that.
Yeah.
I think there's lots of ways you can kind of like hack motivation in that kind of way.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do that, definitely. I'm itching to paint some yellow at the minute.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with even just going on to, steer clear of social media, but just going on to Instagram and flicking through some artist stuff. And if anything there triggers you to perhaps just, I've got one of those. Yeah, that would look great.
The other thing I was going to say, that just to chuck into it, is like, you don't need to paint a full army. I've had it before. I remember I said about Mechanicum. I wanted to paint like not Mechanicum, but Adeptus Mechanicus. I had the sudden urge to do a Mechanicus project. So I was like, I think I listened to an audiobook and it was like really heavily Mechanicum or Adeptus Mechanicus. And I was like, do you know what? I've got this idea for a scheme.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, you was talking about starting an army, and I was like, just paint one guy.
And I said about scratching the itch. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the thing. Like, maybe don't think to yourself, maybe you've got like a core army that you paint, or like even if you're more on the competition side, you're working on one entry or whatever, or a couple of entries or something like that. I think there's nothing wrong with just doing a much lesser iteration or version of the grander thing you want to do to scratch that itch. Yeah. Because then the thing is you might turn around and then go, do you know what? After I spent 3 hours highlighting 9,556 rivets on that model, or like, or whatever it is, like that then makes you realize that desire isn't as strong or as enjoyable potentially as what you thought it would be.
I don't even just think it's that though. I think sometimes just like painting one is enough to satisfy you.
Yeah, I mean,
even if you painted it and the whole process was flawless, you absolutely loved every single second of it. Very often you leave at the end of that going, oh, that was nice. What's next? Rather than like, oh, that was so much fun. I would like to do it another 38 times.
Yeah.
I think that the former is more common.
I'm going to throw something else in as well. It's like, let's just say you've got lots of, again, I'm trying to sort of cater for both sides of the fence, like someone who just maybe paints for armies and someone who maybe does competition entry painting, maybe more whatever, or maybe more high end. Like if you're like in a bit of a lull, like I've been recent, actually just getting out the models that you've painted, and like I got out the other day, like my Night Army, like House Masorum, like that really cool, like color scheme that I've done or whatever. I got that out to have a look at it. I got out some previous entries I'd done to have a look at them, and like after again the biggest fresh eye break of not looking at them again, like noticing things. And sometimes like a kickstart in that way can also be very helpful, like reaffirming previous victories or reaffirming previous things that you've actually achieved and done, or look at the way that I've done that, or look, maybe that blending's, I know I could do better than that now. All these little things are like little things that not necessarily are actual the physical task of actually painting and sitting there and being creative and actually painting something, but it allows you to almost like reflect upon what you've achieved and done previously. So it, number one, gives you maybe a bit of desire to actually return to that. Your next project could be something maybe that you add on to for something you've done 3 years ago. It doesn't necessarily always have to be the next newest, shiniest model in a scheme that you've done before. Does that make sense? Or not done before? Like it, that was really like, really helpful for me looking at stuff that I'd done previously and just revisiting it with fresh eyes to look upon it and go, cool, okay, do I actually want to do more of that? Or I done that, maybe that's not how I'd approach it now. Like that was also quite helpful for me, you know? So I've had a really nice couple of weekends and weeks of like just sorting my room out, going through all my previous stuff, getting rid of stuff that's a distraction. I'm really trying to make it like less distracted and just ultimately focus more on whatever it is I do, have more focus on that thing. I think that's something that I really need.
So why does there need to be an end goal? Like, so perhaps you're pushing yourself to, well, I've got to paint this for my army, or I have to paint this for competition, or I'm painting this because of this reason, that this is the end goal of why I'm doing this. Why don't you just eliminate that? Just paint for painting's sake. You don't have to paint a whole miniature or a whole squad of something or a whole army of anything. You don't have to do any of that. Everybody's got spares. Everybody's got bits and bobs. And if you're in a bit of a lull and you don't know what the heck to paint, just grab a leg or anything out of your bits box and just have a go at painting something completely random on it. It hasn't got to be what that is supposed to be. Have a go at painting a random skin color or a random armor color. Perhaps try a new technique you've seen somewhere. Just paint for painting's sake. That can help, because then there's the only kind of, I suppose there is an end goal with that because you're trying something new. But I mean, ultimately you can just say, well, there is no end goal. I'm just painting just to paint. Yeah, it's the same as like you're drawing or sketching things.
Do you know?
Yeah, I love that.
I never thought of that. Like whenever I've always previously painted, and that's like I always thought I'm painting this, and like there's no question of whether I'm going to finish it or not. I mean, like it's just sitting there, but still. But like the point I'm making is that I've never thought about that in that way.
Well, we've spoken before about the like, do you want to have the thing or do the thing? And I think that blends into it a little bit, because it's like the whole. And I've said it on here as well, and everyone's guilty of slipping a little bit, but it's like the whole point of doing this hobby is supposed to be to have fun doing the hobby, not to, at the end of it, have this... Because by that logic, you've got all this finished stuff already from previous you, and that clearly hasn't like stopped you from carrying on. So it's obviously the actual act of doing it that is the enjoyment.
Yeah, totally.
So like, like for me... painting is I can forget about all the other pressures in life and things like that, and I can focus on that. So why am I giving myself another pressure to try and work towards when I don't need to? Yeah, I can just just paint on that, and then just say, well, I had even if it's just 20 minutes, half an hour, or whatever it is, and say, I enjoyed doing that. So and then you just like any old bits, a boot, a leg, a piece of. I struggle with. Painting sort of bases and groundwork, really. That's a bit of my, I struggle just painting them. So, I just get some old bases and get some, some technical paints and things like that on them, and I just sit there, dry brushing and throwing paint around with no real end goal other than just to have a bit of a practice. Throwing some paint
it's
around.
Like I said when I made those trench bases, like I had no idea of like just they weren't. I didn't do that to make a load of trench bases to then stick an army on it, or I just fancy that was the first time I really ever just went, you know what, I'm just gonna do this. I don't fancy painting at the minute, and I still felt creative, but I needed to have some outlet for that, and that was that at that time.
I've really enjoyed I've spoken about it kind of off and on the last couple of months, especially the like scale model cars that I'm doing at the minute. And part of the reason that I enjoy those so much is because they very much feel like the hobby, but it's very process driven. Like I haven't got to sit there and like wet blend and do all this perfect glazing and stuff. It's like, right, okay, get the body, paint it with a spray can. Yeah. That's pretty much like a binary state of painted or not. Do you know what I mean? And then, okay, put some varnish on it. Okay, sit there and wet sand it. It's very much like a box ticking exercise, just going through the routine. Yeah. And then at the end of it, you get this like finished thing. And there's a lot of like, I don't want to say it takes a lot of the creativity out of it, but it takes a lot of the like decision-making pressure and the technical pressure, because you're just sitting there doing the techniques. You know what you've got to do. You've done it before. Sit here, take this part, clip it off the sprue, get rid of the mold line, spray it black, and it's black now, and it's done. Yeah. There's none of this like, okay, spray it black, then put the shade on. Okay, now I'm going to edge highlight this color. And oh, actually, what regiment is this? Oh, okay, no, it's the such. Okay, get the transfer out the drawer. Oh, I haven't got the correct transfer. Oh, I'll have to freehand. Do you know what I mean? Like all that extra hurdles just takes all of that out of it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to do some model car this evening. And I get like, oh, okay, the seat's done. I'll glue it in. Yeah. It's just a nice little, like, you just chip away at this project. And then at the end of it, I've got this cool model. I want to put it on the shelf.
Yeah, put it on the shelf. And like, you know, you have to be careful of this, like, I think it's hustle culture, I think it's often referred to.
Well, we spoke about that the other week, didn't we?
Yeah. So I mean, there's that kind of thing where you're sort of doing this because you need to do this at the end of it. Or it has to be, you know, it has to be sold, or whatever the pressure is.
Most of it's self-inflicted as well. Most of it's complete rubbish. Like no one's down your neck telling you you've got to get this army done. Yeah. You've come up with this own idea.
Yeah, but it's your own. You're fighting yourself. Yeah. The battle is you versus you.
I think what you do is you forget why you're doing it in the first place, perhaps. Yeah. And for the most, I would hope for the most part that, you know, people are doing the hobby because it's something that they initially really enjoyed doing.
Do you know one of the other things as well? Like, I think the thing I found, and this is true in things outside of miniature painting, the hardest thing is starting. Like, because I've had it like this weekend just gone, so like Saturday just gone. I get up as normal and walk the dogs and stuff, etc. in the morning. It's like a gospel thing that I get up and do every day. But like, sometimes I just come home and I'm just like, after like a heavy week or whatever at work, or like after lots of things going on or whatever, I just feel like I just don't want to do nothing. Yeah. And like, it's in those moments when I feel like I don't want to do anything that it's the hardest thing. But the moment I start, so on Saturday I had a bit more of like, oh, I've got to do this, I've got to do this, I've got to do this. I got those things done. I was like, I just need some time just not doing anything, like to zone out completely. But then when it comes to like transferring that to miniature painting, it's exactly the same. Like there've been plenty of times where I've just sat there and I've sat at my desk and I'm just like hemorrhaging time when I value it so much. And it's just like, I should be doing something like right now. And it's like the pressure, like I said, that's why the battle is you versus you. It's like you've got to, the moment you start something, you'll get more engaged with that and you'll probably get more of a return and result for that, getting that dopamine hit. But you've got to start, and that's the thing. That's why, like, for me at the minute, it's like I'm doing all these things around the painting in a hope that through doing all these things around the painting, it's going to make the painting more, because all of these other things have been like those tick boxes. Yeah. Like changing the racks on my desk. That's been a tick box that's been on my list of things to do for like months, like literally months, nearly a year probably. Yeah. I'll keep looking up. I'll get this pen. I'll change them one day. I'll change them one day. I'll change them one day. Never happens. So this is why, like, I think that, like, you've got to just pick the thing that you want to do, and whether it's for fun, whether it's for a project, whether it's for an army, whether it's and literally just start doing the damn thing. You know what I mean?
Let's talk about how you pick that, because the selection of miniatures that I've got it's like a streaming service, right? So you sit there.
You're not an army painter, to be fair.
No, I consider myself very lucky for not being an army painter, because that way I free myself of the constraints of, right, what am I painting next? I've got to paint something for my army. Yeah. So I'm a bit like, I can paint anything I like, which is really cool.
Anyone can paint anything they like.
I know, right? But I suppose.
Sorry to interrupt, but it's this funny thing of like, you are, like you were saying, your own worst enemy. It's like you set yourself this giant, very difficult task of, I'm going to paint an army of Space Marines or whatever it is, which is just objectively, even if you think you're capable of doing it or as a sort of thing you've done before, just objectively, a very big task. even if you're a speed painter or an army painter, and then you don't finish it or you don't do as much as you thought you could, and then you like feel bad about it. But it was your idea in the first place, and also it was this like massive goal that you set.
I do think it's a personality thing as well. I've got to throw that in because like I don't normally do things by half measures. And like
37 tanks speaks for itself. Yeah,
I mean, let's not say more about that.
But
like the point is that like it's a self-imposed pain.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like you're flagellating yourself over, like I can literally sit here and go Mordians, Exemplars, Blood Angels Primaris Army. I want to do these commentries. I want to do this. I want to finish blooming Lycus. I want to, I've got that Emperor's Children with the green flames on it that I haven't half finished. Like I've got all these little things, and it's like I've done this to myself. Like I've literally done this to myself. I've got a Steel Legion army that I want to do.
Even if you've done none of those, literally nobody else cares.
Yeah, I know. Right. I know that's the thing. But like, it's all like me going, "Oh, I've not done that. I look at that. Oh, I've not finished that." And this is why I've had to do the thing that I've done recently and just go. Away.
Isn't it funny though? Because to kind of use what Paul was saying earlier, if you took some of those projects that are like half finished or whatever, and you quite literally just threw them in the bin,
I can't do that.
You couldn't. Fair enough, and I'm not saying you should, but just like as a thought exercise, it's like you still would have had the nice enjoyment of painting that model. It not being painted is stressing you out. You are the one who set the task for yourself in the first place, and quite literally nobody else in the world cares. You're not that important.
And you're punishing yourself.
Yeah.
And again, not saying you should do this, but possibly mentally it's like a net win to just cut it off and start fresh.
Well, this is why I've literally gone everything in boxes that I can't see in, everything like clean and organised, everything away, like all this kind of stuff. Because I think I needed that, because it's imagine having like all these projects. Stick with me on this one. Imagine they're all talking to you. Yeah, okay. I don't think. I just for a fact, I don't think
like
they're
Toy
talking
Story
to
in your house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Paul might have to make some calls after this.
We need to do intervention.
My mindset on this is that imagine that they're all talking to you and going, "Oh, paint me next, paint me next, paint me next." They're all fighting for your attention. Do you know what I mean? And that's the way to look at it. Like they're all.
I'm never going to open my jaw ever again. Now when I get home.
Yeah. I think that's the way you got to think of it. It's like they're all fighting for your attention, and that attention is self-imposed. It's self-imposed by yourself on it. So when it comes to choosing that next project, it should be. I think you just got to be honest with yourself about how you're feeling, and honest with yourself about what it is that you're wanting to ultimately spend that time on that you're not going to get back. You've got to in my opinion, you've got to get a return for that, whether it's just for fun, whether it's for achieving something, whether it's for progression, whether it's adding something to the army, or any of these things. They're all valid answers. But it goes back to that thing I was saying about like when you first sit at your desk. I've mentioned it in various episodes before, and sorry to rehash it and regurgitate it, but having that breath before the drop, you're so excited to be at your desk and do the thing that you love, whether you've had a long period of time away from doing it, or whether you're like just stuck with what to choose or what to do. I think actually thinking what is actually calling to me and what is actually the thing that I want to do. I think that's the thing for me. That
what do I fancy doing?
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be, that's got to be there as well. What do I just fancy just having doing a little bit of?
Yeah. And especially if that's outside of what you're typically doing. Because if you're in this situation in the first place, I'd argue that the culprit is what you're currently doing. So maybe you actively need to try something else as like a cleanser.
We have that little hobby holiday type thing where you just think, I've had enough of this. I need a break.
Yeah.
And then you pick that model up that you've got just for that purpose, which is totally unrelated to your current or any of your previous projects. That's a real help. That's a real sort of mental help.
I think the other thing is also being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And just being honest about what time you've got available, and what you're setting your expectations on what the return should be from that available time that you've got for it as well. Because like you quite rightly said, I want to paint this, I want to collect Valhalla Ice Warriors. I want to buy a whole army of them, blah, 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 and then I'm going to paint 2 models and then go, oh, why have I?
Yeah, but isn't that again setting yourself a pressure? If you're setting yourself this is my expectations for this, isn't that a pressure? If you're trying to...
No, I'm saying about being honest about your expectations. Yeah. Don't go, I want to paint the full army. Just go, I'm going to paint 1.
I'm just going to paint a little bit of this today.
Yeah, I'm going to paint a little bit of this and then see how I feel after I've done that. Yeah, I think that's...
I made the mental commitment to paint a Blood Angels army, and I've kind of somewhat decided I want to try and do 3rd company. So it's like a set list of models. It's not actually that big either.
Best company.
But I've not bought all the kits. I don't want all that like pressure sat on my shelf in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
Like I buy one box, and I'm going to paint all of those, and then I'll buy the next box, and I'll chip away at it slowly.
The irony is, you've decided to do your whole entire army at competition Golden Demon level.
Yeah, but what James said, being honest about your expectations, I don't plan on doing that within the next several years. I know it's going to be a slow and gradual thing.
He says, even though it was part of, I'm going to get an army.
I'm still going to win. I'm still going to win. Where's Joe painting? Where's Joe's painting?
Yeah,
Where's his updates?
Yeah, that's true.
Very true.
But I said at the start, I was like, I actively wanted this long overarching project that's in the background that I'll be working on other stuff, and I've always got that to go back to, like in between. That was the goal at the start of it. I didn't go, I'm going to paint this Blood Angels army and laser focus on that and nothing else. Like that wasn't the objective from the start.
It's just another streaming analogy where it's like one of these long TV shows where you have one theme that goes across all episodes, but every episode you paint something different. But ultimately, there's a little bit of Blood Angels in there all the way along.
Yeah.
I'm always like,
chipping away
at it. Because if I've ever got like a gap in between commissions or in between competition projects or something like that, that's like what I go to. There's always like a Blood Angel at my desk in some various state.
Yeah.
At the minute, I'm doing the Banner Bearer. Ages ago, you remember I talked about I was doing the little the flag and all that stuff.
That's right.
It's still there. Like, I haven't just forgotten about him. It's just I don't have the available time. But I'll chip away at him as and when. And then when he's done, I'll move on to the next one. And slowly, over the course of a while,
you'll have a whole squad.
I'll have a whole squad.
Yeah. No, it's great.
What if I told you can easily take the basing on your miniatures to the next level? Well, now you can with the new basing range from Siege Scenics. Siege Scenics is dedicated to helping you create immersive and realistic environments for your miniatures that feel both alive and dynamic, whether you're setting the stage for your tabletop battle or telling a rich, unfolding story on a competition display. From the lush hues of summer grass to cold alien landscapes, Siege Scenics has you covered with expertly crafted and innovative products that capture the ever-changing beauty of nature and let you bring it straight to your miniatures. To see the full range and upgrade your bases, head to siegescenics.co.uk or check with your local retailer. Let's do a thought experiment.
Okay.
I'm gonna hit the big red button in front of me.
Yeah.
We're in Matrix land now. This is my little fantasy.
You've got
I know Kung Fu.
Time stands still.
Okay.
You've got this just infinite free time now.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Right? You've got your dream hobby set up. You've got all your your shelves are up. You've got all your paints you want.
All your now varnished things on the wall.
All your brushes, your heart desires, right?
Yeah.
So eliminate all external factors. What is the one project that you would like to do in this moment right now?
Am I good at painting in this?
No, it's your current ability.
Level. Right, okay.
I'll let you brew on that.
Yeah.
Mine would be...
It'll go 4 hours later. Right,
while you're thinking, I'll do mine, right?
Yeah.
I would like to spend... I don't know how long it would take. I bet it's probably actually worryingly not as long as I think it is in my head. I would like to go through the sort of draw of semi-finished competition entries and like finish them off. So, for example, we were talking about it, I think at the end of last year, unfortunately, the Death Guard model, Gerg.
What a guy.
Favourite.
Yeah.
I painted the front of him, mostly to completion, and then was like, I'll finish the back. I'd got all my enjoyment out, and I burned up all my motivation on that, and now he's just been sat in the drawer half painted. And I would love to have it finished on a plinth in my cabinet, but it's not. And I can't quite strike up the motivation to do that.
Is the back of him grey?
Exactly. And I've got like Bayard's Revenge. I painted the Orc on the base. I didn't even paint the Templar. I've got loads of stuff kind of like that. Or like even the Chaos Sorcerer Lord guy. I built him, put him on the plinth. That'll be a competition entry. Still grey, still unprimed. I'd love to spend like a few weeks or months or however long it would be, just like chipping away at those.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, I'd have like so many finished projects, but like none of them actually had to start. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I've just got like loads I need to like finish up.
I am exactly the same. If I had like a week where time stood still, even though it's an oxymoron, but still, I would finish Lycus, finish the Emperor's Children thing. I'd just, all my loose ends would just be like done.
Because you not want to do one of your armies?
Because I've got, if I in this time, for a week, and I just literally.
I didn't say a week. It's just that was an arbitrary figure.
I would. I would. But like, I think the thing is like I feel currently, if you could imagine this as some thing. I feel like all of these little projects, these little snags or whatever you want to call them, that are literally just, it's like I'm trying to walk forward and push forward and do the next thing, and all of them are holding a chain that's stuck to my back going, no, you can't progress.
That whole pressure thing.
And I imagine the weight of 38 tanks is probably quite substantial.
Heavy,
yeah. I think some of them are Forge World as well.
No man should bear such a burden.
It's pretty bad.
I can see the sadness.
It's pretty bad, yeah. But this is the thing. It's like, I think we talked about it before, but it's the idea of the thing rather than the thing.
Cool.
And like, the problem is ultimately that I love Warhammer and I love the setting and I love all the races and all the factions. And if you were right now to say to me, if at a click of a finger, you could literally have every single army that you wanted in the color scheme that you wanted, that you'd painted, because we spoke about this before, like, I could quite easily, I suppose, go and get someone else to do the stuff for me. Like,
you have to own a commission painting studio.
I do have that
resources are available.
I do have that privilege, but like the thing is like, because the gaming isn't the thing that I enjoy as much as painting, and painting is my thing, I want to do it.
Yeah.
I want the achievement of doing it.
You want to say that's my Mordian army that I painted,
and
not
like
that's my Mordian army that I own.
Yeah. Which is, and again, this is very different because we know this because obviously of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients that we've got, like there are plenty of people out there that don't want that and they just want the thing. And that's why it goes back to the thing that Joe said, I've said, you've said it. It's more about the idea of the thing.
And also on the flip side of that as well, even hobbyists, there's still valid reason to get not only models commission painted, but like miniatures from other people.
Oh, 100%.
So, like, I would love to own a piece painted by some of my favorite artists.
Exactly,
as like a collector.
Well, that's exactly it. A lot of people, like, sorry to just, I suppose, plug it a little bit, but like a lot of people like having Siege Studios painted models and armies, and that's the thing. Like, you know, that in itself is a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Probably surprised how many of them actually paint.
Yeah,
it's always interesting to me.
Yeah, like again, like it's there's loads of different things, but I think just trying to pull back onto the main thing, which is obviously about choosing the next thing or how to choose a project. I think we've covered a lot of things obviously in the episode so far, but like I think for me, it's that emotive connection. It's like, how much does it mean to me? And I think that's the thing now, because I've got the luxury and privilege of having lots of options and all these different things I've tried to start and not finish, or etc. Like, it's just about the emotive connection and like, how much does this mean to me? And like, will that reward me with that emotive, yes, I've done it. And I think that's the thing. So yeah.
I think if I had all these, unrestricted things like time and all the rest of it, I think I've said it before, I think I'd still love to paint Mortarion. I think he's still one of my sort of top tier models that I'd really love to paint.
Well, you painted a big model before. You painted that giant rat, didn't you?
Physics Scour.
Physics Scour, yeah.
Why have you not painted an Mortarion?
Because he's quite an expensive model kit. So that's something that I might have to either save up for at some point, or just have as a Christmas treat one year.
So forget my magic scenario. If one appeared in front of you right now, would you want to paint it?
Of course, I'd paint.
So there's no reservation.
No, I mean there may have been about a year ago or so, because I, feeling especially with the wings, these great. I think I've said it before. My big fears are big flat surfaces and things like that with wings. So that kind of, I thought I'm not ready to paint that yet. So obviously didn't buy it because there's no point. It's just going to sit there and I'm just going to feel bad that it's there and I'm not painting.
Yeah.
But now I think, I can do that. Wouldn't be a problem. But if there was no limits, then I'd paint it right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he's my goat. I just want to throw that in there for the younger audience.
I've heard that so many times today.
Yeah. George, are you proud of me?
I am proud of you, Paul. That was a proud moment.
It
all came full circle.
I know, right? Yeah, it was great. Yeah, greatest of all time, actually.
Okay, on that note, before we round out the show, we'll, of course, got to do our hobby hack. I've come armed again with a caveat, though.
It's always got a caveat.
It might be somewhat limited in its applications to 40k specifically, but I would call it very relevant to the miniature painting hobby. Okay, and it's one that I learned only last night.
Wow.
Because I was doing a little bit of hobby.
Gotcha.
Okay, so doing a car kit at the minute.
Yeah.
And sometimes, well, actually, let's rewind a little bit. So when you've got a model car kit, if you haven't done one before, the insert for like the glass, like the windscreen, the rear windscreen, the windows, is normally one big piece.
Yeah.
But on it, there is kind of trim that goes around the outside. And that needs to be painted black, which is very much the same as on like 40k models. Like you've got the canopy.
Aircraft, you get the canopy.
Yeah,
frame.
exactly. You've got the canopy, the cockpit and all that stuff. Sometimes you can brush paint it, but sometimes it's like so large that it needs to be sprayed, ideally. And some model kits come with a pre-cut, like laser cut stencil you can put in there and you can paint it really nicely and perfectly, which is excellent. Some kits don't come with those. And I'm unfortunately experiencing that at the moment.
Right, gotcha.
And I was like, well, how am I going to mask this off? Because it's like all the corners are curved and it's just like one big complex shape because you haven't got to mask the outside. You've got to mask the inside. So you need to create negative space.
Sure.
So I was like, I don't really know how to do this because I could sit here with masking tape and sort of like awkwardly try to do the curves. But if you've ever tried to use masking tape to make a curve, it's not really, doesn't really work, does it?
No.
Not always, no.
So I was like, I'll have to turn to the scale model nerds because I've spent all of my skill points here and I'm still not quite knowledgeable enough.
Didn't apply enough points in the character stats set up at the beginning, did he? No.
So I went onto the World Wide Web, as you do.
Yeah.
The World Wide Web? Okay, I'm going to ignore that. Yeah.
And I was watching some videos and stuff and I learned a very cool hobby hack from the YouTubes. So what you do is you take the canopy and you hold it up to the light. So hobby lamp off. I'm now harnessing the power of the sun.
Wow.
And you get a regular pencil and you hold it up and you actually draw on kind of the perimeter line that needs to be masked off. And you sketch that onto there and you actually like rub the graphite onto that line. Then you take a big sheet of masking tape, put it over the whole thing, hold it up to the light again, and now you can see that pencil line through from the reverse side, and you draw it onto the masking tape, and then you peel it off. Now I've got my masking tape, which has got a perfectly pencil drawn line around it, which I can cut out. And then this is the cool bit, on the actual bit of plastic, just get a regular eraser, rubber, just rub it off. Comes off perfectly.
Then you can cut out
You can cut out the stencil, stick it on.
This seems like an awful lot of steps. Have you not heard of masking fluid?
That wouldn't work on this. There's no way that would work on this.
I'm sure Tammany used to do like a pink.
They do. There's pretty big panels.
I think of masking fluid as being for like a 3D object that I need to like. And masking fluid is horrible to use. It just is.
But is that just because you don't use it very often?
No, because it's latex and like it ruins a brush.
I'm gonna chuck in my my hat into the ring. Not that I'm wearing a hat.
I was quite happy with that one.
I mean, it's quite.
It's good.
It's good.
I'm just
I'm gonna go back to cling film. Cling film is the one.
How would you mask the negative? Because it's on the inside space. So how would you mask it?
What do you mean it's on the inside space? If I was doing a canopy of like a Falcon grav tank, it's all flat on the inside. The raised details on the outside.
That would work if you haven't got any curves, I suppose. But if you've got like a compound shape.
Well, the canopy on a Falcon's round. It's like dome-like. You just basically get some hairspray, spray some hairspray onto the panel.
Spray some,
and then stick cling film on, sharp Stanley or scalpel around the edge, cuts that. It just and you can peel those bits off.
I don't know. I just thought there was other ways, didn't it? But I get what you're saying. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, you can do it.
Yeah, it works perfectly. George's way
it
works perfectly. Yeah, it's a great hack.
Yeah, brilliant.
To elaborate though, I was thinking of other applications for this. So if you wanted to do like masks and freehand or something, you could get like the design up on your phone,
trace over it,
stick some masking tape to it, and then like draw it out with the pencil again. And then use that as like a
I'll tell you what you could
DIY
do as well with the whole looking at the sun thing, because that's probably a bad idea, right, for your mince pies. Right?
Get your Ray-Bans out.
At home, I've got a light panel. What we you draw on it. It's just a flat. It's like about as thick as an iPad. It's really thin.
Lights up.
And it's just, different. You just put that on top of that and you could put that, just draw over the top of it rather than staring at the sun.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go outside or anything. It was just sort of, hold it up to the window.
You must have had, well, I mean, the sun's still, I'm just trying to think of your health, George. Just get yourself they're only about tenner each, I think, these sheets now.
Dr. Paul is in the house.
I'm thinking of your safety, young lad.
What I should have done is took my Onyx lamp, pulled it down, and flipped it upside down.
Yeah. That works as well.
Could do that. Yeah.
It's good like the Onyx, I've heard.
So the story goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, after that deflated balloon, that's random.
No, it's an option for paint. I suppose it works for bigger areas if you've got it. Yeah, and
I was just trying to get onto the making your own masking.
Well, I tell you what,
zones.
all I'm going to say is we need to roll our sleeves up and get these hacks out a bit better. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, amazing.
I thought that was a good one.
120 episodes in. Yeah, like need to. But no, that was decent. Yeah.
It's hard coming up with hundreds of hacks, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
That actually are good. Like, you know what I mean?
Slated.
Yeah. It is another.
Actually, I'll
it's a
have
good
you
way of
know
doing
the
things.
comments for the last few weeks, because I've been getting a lot of stick for my hacks from guests and hosts on this podcast, and people in the comments for the last few weeks have actually very kindly been supporting my hacks.
Yeah, in all fairness, I mean, I can't remember the last time.
I peaked too soon with all my hacks. That's the thing. I've literally got all the good ones out.
I don't really do hacks. Are not really my fault.
Do you know what? Actually, I know he's not here to defend himself, but I think if you've done the proportional percentage split, I think there's a certain person that loves a camouflage obituary hat that needs to do a few more potentially. But anyway, on that note,
we'll round out the podcast there. Massive thank you for listening to this week's episode of Paint Perspective. We're going to jump over now to the post show, which is a benefit for our patrons. So if you'd like to get these episodes ad free and an extra 20 or 30 minutes at the end of every episode, access to all of the previous post shows, access to all of the extended masterclass video tutorials. We do our critique clinic. We've got other stuff on there, PDF tutorials, loads of cool benefits, just for the same price as a few pots of paint. It's excellent value if I do say so myself. You can just subscribe for a month if you want to and get all that stuff and then jump over to someone else. So we're going to go over to the post show now. Otherwise, massive thank you for watching this week's episode of Paint Perspective once again. And we'll see you next week. Take a kit and soak it in hot water to deform the...
Just put it in the oven. That's what I did.
Yeah, that's a sensible idea. Thanks, James. We can always rely on you for logical solutions.
I'm being serious.
And that is what worries me, James.
Yes, yeah. I'm not even scared to say it. Like, it was a Dreadnought. I'll never forget it. Dreadnought drop pod.